quick comments about the wicket. It seemed like when Texas played, it seemed like it wasn't that easy wicket to bat on. Despite Bravo's brilliance, he took a long time to sort of get started and get comfortable with the wicket. So what are your thoughts? Was 160 a par score, or was it a very good score?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's definitely slower than the first wicket we played on. We're not sure whether it's because it's an afternoon game with the heat as well, but we were actually going to bowl first. It felt a little bit tacky, so we felt 160 was probably about right, about par, but we just got off to a bad start. We had, when you lose wickets, the conditions always seem a lot slower. When you have partnerships, the conditions seem okay. So we made probably the pitch look harder than it was, but it was some brilliance that got us close, which can be really important in the long run.
Hi, Salo from It's Called Cricket. Tough loss today. I just wanted to ask you a little bit about Dwayne Bravo, not only as a player, as a batter and bowler, but someone you've worked with for years. And
sure.
He shares a role with you and the coaching staff. I just wanted to ask you a little bit about his persona and his leadership off the field.
I can't speak more highly of him. He's incredibly professional. He's durable. And he has an appetite for success and the big moment. And when the big moment comes, he usually performs. And today, again, it's some of the best I've seen him play the last couple of games. We obviously didn't have him at CSK this year. I think that hurt him a little bit. So he's really motivated to show that he's still got the talent and still got the desire to perform at the top level. So I've seen a really motivated Dwayne Bravo the last 10 days we've been around, and that performance today was winding back the clock. He'd be offended by that because he lacks sometimes opportunity with the bat, but he's still showing that he's a world-class player and a world-class competitor, which is just as important.
Scott Dixon with the Associated Press.
Hi, mate.
The organizers have talked a lot about wanting the quality of this league to be up there. They went after as many big names as they could get. What's your sense of the big names that they did get, and your sense of the quality of the play so far?
Yeah, really good names. Is high quality players through each team. There's 6 quality international players that are mixing with the local players, so I think it's a nice blend. The calibre is high. Bravo proved that today, and some of the performances by the international players have justified the billing. It's also good to see some performances from the US players, and that's going to be a key factor for the tournament. If a couple of the US players can contribute and do a good job in between the splattering of internationals, then you'll go close to winning it. So that's certainly what we're looking to do. But yeah, I think so far the conditions have been really good. We were a little bit anxious about what we were going to play on, which can determine a good game or a scrappy game. And when you get good conditions, it's up to the players to perform. And today was a little bit scrappy, but still came pretty close. So in terms of a close game of cricket, it was okay.
With the conditions, the heat, the way it is in Texas, it's world famous for its heat.
Yeah.
How does it compare to what you all experience in the other summer on the other side of the world?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit cooler than Chennai, which is nice. The players are conditioned now to being uncomfortable, and this is quite a dry heat. A lot of places throughout India it's quite humid, which is a challenge because of the perspiration and the moisture that's involved. So the players are just getting on with it. It is what it is. The afternoon games can be a challenge, but they're part of the challenges of winning tournaments. Hey, Peter.
This is more of a big picture question. You were captain of New Zealand in 2004 when you played USA in the Champions Trophy.
Yeah, I missed out.
That day and what you experienced against USA on that occasion and town level and just the standard compared to what you've experienced 19 years later here in Texas, whether that's broadly in the event or specifically with U.S. players in your squad like Simon Kamal. I know he hasn't taken the field in the oven, but just being around in the squad.
Yeah.
What stands out to you about where U.S.
The World Cup and get experience there. Nothing's really changed. It's sort of treading water, missed out on qualifying in this tournament. I think all players want to see the US go well. I think there's a real desire to get the United States on the map. There's an you just need to develop heroes on a bigger stage. It goes without notice, really, some of the Houston Opens and the tournaments that they play, and they're a little bit hit and miss when they're on and when they're not. So if you can get a little bit more of a format that appeals, then hopefully you can generate the next crop of players that will come through. If Si's the guy that leads that, great, but getting more athletes to play the game would be the first challenge. And then from there, hopefully you get some athletes from other sports who like the game, like what's happening over the next month, and then I think you can go places.
Last one.
Nate Hayes, Emerging Cricket.
Hey.
Hey, you guys, from my point of view, have done a pretty good job of obviously taking advantage of the fact that this is kind of your home ground. And that started in the draft when you guys had a very good contingent of people there cheering on the players as they got drafted.
We're scoring pretty freely, but yeah, bowlers with the more change-ups I think are the toughest to face.
Hey Matt, Salo from It's Called Cricket. Obviously you were a late addition to the, and I guess just get settled in the US and this morning.
Yeah, it's been bloody hard. I think obviously it's been unfortunate for Josh Philippi to do his ankle, but yeah, awesome to have the opportunity to come over here. I think I landed at 2:30 p.m. just before the first game on Friday night, so that was a bit of a struggle. But yeah, I think get away with the preparation that I've had, and yeah, hopefully that can continue.
Nate Hayes, Emerging Cricket. Sora, that's a wildcard on your team. Left arm, medium fast bowler, has been performing pretty well. Is this your first introduction to Sora? And also, do you have any other impressions about any of our domestics that stick out to you?
Yeah, I think it's the first time I've met him a couple of days ago, and to come up against some quality international batters today in Faf, but yeah, the talent I've seen, yeah, it's awesome. We've got a lot of South African guys that are locals over here now, and even some of the other guys that aren't actually getting a game at the moment. I know the competition's pretty hard for spots, so I think the more they can get exposed to matches like this and competitions like this, it's going to be always going to be better for them, and hopefully we can see them grow over the next couple of years.
Saturdays with the Associated Press. Other than money, why did you decide to come over here and do this?
I think my biggest sort of, motivation is to play cricket for Australia, and I think my last couple of summers there have been predominantly, I think I've been doing a lot better in the white ball kind of thing. So while it's our off season over in Melbourne, overseas or whatever comp that could be. So I was in India, and I have the 100 after this as well. So it's just nice to, put myself up against some quality opposition, and see if I can, fit in internationally against some quality players.
And so what do you think about the quality you've seen so far?
It's been top class. There's some bloody good players out there. Especially with the IPL owning some of the franchises here, I think they bring across some international players, which is going to be a challenge. And yeah, obviously, I think as the tournament gets on and the next couple of years, I think it's important that we get these players here and to really bring up the